Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 177 of Shack News Presents Pop Goes the Culture. I'm Donovan Erskine, news editor here at Shack News, and I'm joined as always by Greg Burke, our illustrious head of video. Greg, welcome to the internet. We're streaming everywhere today. Holy heck, I feel like I've got like a battle station here. We're on Twitter. We did that for the first time last episode, but now we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch. Holy moly. Um, how are you doing on this fine Thursday afternoon? The sun is already setting here on the East Coast.
It's Thursday, so I'm having trouble with this is all an experiment for us for the first time streaming on so many platforms. So we can't see chat on Twitter just because that's the way it works. I don't see our chat on Twitch, Facebook, or Instagram in the chat box that's supposed to merge
I
all the chats. So
I pulled them up individually, so I've got those.
okay, yeah, because I
I'll
was like,
call them out.
I have one on Instagram and then that's it. So we'll see
I've
what
got
happens.
every single chat pulled up individually, and I'm
Okay.
watching them all like that scene in The Dark Knight when Morgan Freeman pulled up the monitors and was looking around. So if I see anything, I will let you know. Danny says, "Yeah, we see you over here on Twitch. What's up? What's up? What's up?" Greg, we didn't do an episode last week. We were busy, or I should say,
You
I
weren't
was
here.
busy
Were you at the
doing
wedding last
something.
week? You were at a wedding last week, right?
No, that was the week before. I wasn't here Thursday because I was at an event for work, which people will read more about tomorrow on shacknews.com at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9 a.m. Eastern. But we're not
You're
here to
not gonna
talk
want to
about
miss it.
upcoming
Stay
video
tuned.
games. Yeah, you're not going to want to miss
Your
it.
life just may
But
depend on it.
we're not going to talk about video games. We're going to talk about movies and television because that's what we do here on Pop Goes the Culture. Bit of an offbeat show for us here on Shack News. I feel like I need to do an intro, Greg. I feel like I'm doing episode one again because I feel like this is going to be a lot of
Okay.
people's first time seeing us. But yeah, we talk movie, TV. Every now and then you'll get a little comic book, maybe some music, but it's all about pop culture here on Pop Goes the Culture. And Greg, let's start off with news about a television spinoff for a movie that I know you and I both enjoyed. Superman is getting a TV show, or should I say, uh, what's this guy's name? Jimmy Olsen is getting a TV show. Um,
What?
yeah. So Jimmy
That's
Jimmy
right.
Olsen, who we saw, he was in Superman. He was played by Skylar Gisondo, is going to get a spin-off TV show about him and his daily work at the Daily Planet. And we got some details about it, Greg. One, the show is gonna focus on Gorilla Grodd, at least season one. That'll be like the villain or the bad guy throughout the season. And more importantly, in my heart and soul, Denny on IG as well says looking good. Um, the show is being created by the American Vandal creators. I've talked about this show off and on Pop Goes the Culture. American Vandal is my favorite Netflix original show. It was this mockumentary style, like crime show or murder mystery treatment, but it was a kind of a comedy because the show was about it took place at a high school and it was about somebody who spray painted all of the staff cars with dicks like one day, and the whole show is like the mystery of them trying to figure out who did it, but it's told with the seriousness and the filmmaking of like a murder mystery like a first 48 or something. So they're doing like talking head interviews, they're looking through cameras, they're like tracing like phone calls, they're looking at timelines of like this person left the building at 12:57 to go get lunch, they weren't there at the time of the crime. And it's amazing, it's my favorite Netflix show. I think it's criminally underrated. It had two seasons, but those filmmakers are making the Jimmy Olsen show, which I think is a lot of fun. Greg, you like Superman. What do you think about Jimmy Olsen
Is
being the lead of a TV
is
show?
American Vandal the show where they had the diarrhea? Is that like one of the seasons?
Season two was the diarrhea. Yeah, it was where somebody
Uh-huh.
poisoned the like lunch, whatever the drink they were serving at lunch. I think it was horchata with like laxatives, and everybody drank it, and then everybody just started like shitting themselves at the school, and they're trying to figure out who
Oh
did it.
boy,
They called it the brownout.
the
Yeah.
brown out. I mean, like it's that time, right? Like James Gunn is doing lots of stuff for the universe. It makes sense. Marvel had spin-off shows. It makes sense that the new DC universe would have spin-off shows. I like that. Like, I like that it's about the paper, and I like that it's about Jimmy because we're gonna get into like investigative journalism, and I'm into that kind of thing, which
Yeah.
is kind of cool. And also, James Gunn loves his obscure villains, and Gorilla Grodd's one of those really obscure ones.
About as obscure as they come. Yeah. Um, I am excited for this to just be like obviously Jimmy Olsen's gonna be the lead, but I really hope that this is just like a newsroom procedural of the Daily Planet. That sounds so fun because man, you were really trying to turn whatever that is on back
Yeah, I
there.
am. I'm
You're
trying. I
you're
thought I turned him on
hell bent.
earlier, but it's fine.
One of my favorite parts of Superman was the very few minutes we get of the Daily Planet team, right? Like you and I, we work in a newsroom. It's a very unique environment, even digitally. So I think seeing that in Superman was so fun. I called out when I reviewed on the show the scene where they're on the
Yeah, the
ship.
CMS. You said that.
They're in their CMS, which is a content management system, writing like their news article about the attacks, and they're like hitting publish. Like just that, like 2 minutes. That's the vision for the show where they're like typing, writing articles, the building's shaking, people are like running out. That sounds so fun. Gorilla Grodd being the villain, I think is great. Like you said, obscure villain.
Their
We
company's like, can I get some edits? I need edits. I need edits quick.
Yeah,
Somebody
exactly,
approve.
exactly. And knowing James Gunn, I mean, I don't know what his extent of newsroom knowledge is, but like he's gonna bring somebody in that like knows, or he'll consult with somebody. They're gonna do that inside baseball stuff where, like you said, it's like, yeah, I need this edits on this, or this one's past due date, or this is embargoed till tomorrow. You're gonna get all that like silly stuff. And Jimmy was like, I don't want to say he stole the movie, but he was like one of the like standout characters in Superman. Him and his whole like storyline with Eve. The scene where he goes like meet her in like the shady alley at night is like really fun. I love the way that scene was shot. It's very grounded. Um I'm excited about this. I know when they announced it, people were like, "Really? That's the Jimmy Olsen spinoff?" But I think the more I kind of put my mind to it, I'm really down.
It doesn't bug me that much, honestly. Like, I think it's fine. Like, these other characters you have to do. It's the problem I think people is people want to see Flash, people want to see Wonder Woman, people want to see Batman, they want to see Superman, right? They don't want to
Yeah,
see necessarily the incidental characters, which is why I think like Shield. Remember that TV show Shield was like, I mean, people enjoyed it, but I remember like people were like, well, like nothing really happens because they couldn't use mutants and they're not really dealing with. You got like the Ghost Rider, I think, was like one of the biggest ones they had on that show, and so people want to see the heroes and like, but if you can make the story interesting and compelling, I think that's fine, right? They live in this world, right? That's the whole point. What is it like to be in a human where you have to be in the same universe as the Flash and Superman, right?
yeah, exactly. To me, I think that's such a compelling concept for a show, and I do get the concerns that people are like, "Where's the Wonder?" Like, the big characters we haven't gotten yet. So I
Yeah,
understand why people are like, that has been one of the criticisms I've seen of James Gunn's DCU, that it is a lot of focus on like weird offbeat characters before we establish the big ones.
that's
But
okay
they'll get
because
to
we've
them.
seen the big ones. Like we've seen the big ones. Like let them. You'll get your Batman. Everyone can relax. Like let's take this a lot slower
Yeah,
than
they're
we
gonna
did
do
the
them.
other DCU where we had the Justice League movie like in a few years. Like let's take it slow.
I do want to stop and shout out chat here on Twitch. Denny. Well, first, 8-Bit Wizard, what's up? I believe his name's Trevor, right? You said.
That's Trev. Yeah.
And then Denny, okay, Denny, I need to ask you about this, dude, because I saw this clip this morning and I thought it was fake. I was like, this is either AI or like a YouTube parody from like 10 years ago that I just never saw. But Denny said everybody keeps showing the Gorilla Grodd clip trying to kill Obama in the comments of this news. What the fuck is that? Is that from The Flash? Because I know Gorilla Grodd was in The Flash. I see this clip where Denny says, LMAO, it's real. I see this clip where Gorilla Grodd like bursts into a college dorm. There's like a young black dude like in there chilling, and then Gorilla Grodd's like, Barack Obama, you must die, or something like that. And he like chases him like out onto the campus. I was like, what is this? What is the
It's
oh,
got to
it's
be from
from
the
okay.
CW Flash. It's got to be from the
It's
CW Flash.
no, it's worse. It's Legends of Tomorrow, which makes so much sense because
No,
the Flash was zany. The Flash was zany. Legends of Tomorrow was like a cartoon in live action. And I actually defended the first season of that show. Did not stick with it at all. But what is the context of that episode? Danny, have you seen this episode? Why was Gorilla Grodd trying to kill Barack Obama in the past? Was he like a hard right wing conservative? Was he like, we have to stop the first black president from ever happening? Make America Grodd again? Don't tell me that was part of it at all. Wow.
no, that
Yeah,
show is
I
good,
mean,
but it like you said, it does lose like its vision after a while. Like Iris West, as they don't know what to do with that character. She keeps getting captured. And there's too much of her in the show. But like the first season, the first couple seasons, him like learning his powers, and that's cool. I get really into the science of powers. I think that's super cool, and he's like working with his team to figure out if he can phase, if he can run up a wall, if he can run on water, like what he can do, right? If he can like throw lightning, like that's kind of cool. Like he's learning, like that's the core of the show. But once that is done and like everyone gets powers on this team, it gets really wonky really quickly.
Yeah, yeah, you're a big world building guy. That's why you liked Godzilla King of the Monsters. I'm
Yeah.
gonna make a movie, and it's gonna be an audience test case just for Greg. I'm gonna see how much I can get him to like a movie. I'm gonna come up with a bunch of random lore about a bunch of like stuff that doesn't exist, and it's gonna be
They're making a
nothing else
show
but like world building.
on the Apple TV, right? Monarch. It's going to be taking place in the universe, right? The little
It
creatures.
already came out. They got
Oh,
season 2 coming. They actually
oh,
just
right.
announced
See,
season
I'm
2 like
so behind on
yesterday,
the
I think.
television bandwagon.
You gotta
So
watch
much
it, man.
TV.
I'm gonna talk about an Apple TV show later in this goddamn episode, and you better stick around for it, because holy hell, do I have some thoughts about Vince Gilligan's new show. But before we get to the fun news stories, Greg, Disney Plus, Bob Iger says we're gonna add AI to Disney Plus, and I realize I put the wrong article link in there. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna change it for you, buddy. But yes, the one, the only Disney Plus, which is obviously operated by the Walt Disney Corporation, is going to soon add. They said short form, audience generated AI content. Greg, I just added this to our doc. Sorry, the link should be in there now.
What was
I'm
your
just gonna
source? I
read
can't
from
look at it. It'll bring up. What was the source?
Deadline. Just look up Deadline Disney Plus AI.
Yeah, I want to make sure we're on the same
Um,
article and not like, because there's a lot of articles about that. Thank you.
yeah. So I'm going to read from the Deadline article here. Disney Plus subscribers could be getting to grips with game like features in the not too distant future. And it has artificial AI, in parentheses, to thank, according to Bob Iger. Iger was effusive, that's a good word, on this morning's results call about the opportunities afforded by AI on Disney Plus and its potential to help connect up different segments of the sprawling mouse house since splashing out on an equity stake in Fortnite owner Epic Games for $1.5 billion last year. They're talking about game-like features. Yeah. Uh, Gaming and UGC can tap into AI developments, according to Disney execs. AI will give Disney the opportunity to use Disney Plus as a portal to all things Disney. That includes commerce, theme parks, hotels, cruise ships. They put cruise ships as one word there. I don't know if that's correct. The letter floated 3 prongs of AI, Greg. Streaming technology, content. Now they say in parentheses post production, and then streamlining parks. And yeah, they're going all in on this, which I think is a broad conversation here, Greg, because it seems like they're doing it everywhere. It's not just going to be in their production, but they said even theme parks, which I think is certainly an interesting idea. We were just at a big theme park opening this year, and even in a closed preview environment, lines and wait times are still a thing. So I'm sure people are trying to figure out if AI can fix that. I don't know if it can,
So this is a two-part
but
conversation. First, the first one I'll address is the crowds at theme parks. Using it with theme parks is Disney, specifically Disney, has been trying for the for many years, last several years, to make, because the biggest criticisms of their park is, oh, the lines are too long, the wait time's too long. I sit in a line with my
yeah,
family, my kids are young, and they can't sit in a line for 90 minutes to go on a ride. It's not fun. It becomes a
I mean,
chore.
you're lucky if it's 90 minutes. That's a steal. I'd
Right.
haul ass to a 90-minute line.
So what they've been trying to do is trying to get people, like this, like again, several years in the making, trying to schedule their trips. They tried this with Fast Pass, where you would, and they did it with the Disney Band, oh god, 10 years ago, maybe several years ago, where you would go online and book your trips. It would be like reserving your spot in line, and you'd hit Pirates and you'd make a reservation for this, and then you make, and like you kind of would be on a schedule. And they did it with the Disney Band, they did it with the app, they tried it with Magic Genie. They're trying to get people to schedule their trips. Now the unfortunate part of this is that people don't want to do that. They just don't. They don't want to schedule when they're going to go on the rides for the entire day. They want to do what they want to do when they want to do it. And so they're struggling with that. There's that. So that's one problem that they're trying to. And the Disney Band and the scheduling was something that they tried and failed because the consumer did not like it. They don't want to be on a schedule. They want to do what they want to do when they get into the park. They don't want to adhere to a schedule, which is unfortunate, because we would love that if we could just be like, okay, Tomorrowland to that thing. And that sounds good in theory, but the problem is when everyone's doing that, you try to do like one land all at once, and it's like, oh, this day, sorry, like these 2 rides are sold out for the day. So like, there were problems. So that's probably what they're talking about with AI is trying to they want to really get into this like scheduling your theme park experience out so you're not running around. Because if we did a there's like a we just went to Disneyland a few weeks ago and we were moving around zigzagging all over the place because you can't just do one land move on to the next land because some of those rides will be 60 minutes across the park. One ride will be 15 minutes and you gotta get your individual fast passes. So that's one thing that's going to probably try to do is finally get people on a scheduled trip to make the most out of their time so they can see the most because it's expensive. And the second part of that question is, yeah, AI is here to stay. It's not going away. There is a bubble. Like I agree, Asif did a great deep dive on it. There is a bubble with AI technology and who's going to win and the race to general AI. There's a bubble, but it's not going to be just. They're not going to give up on this. This isn't a 3D TV thing where they're just like, oh, this is stupid. We'll give up. No, this is here to stay, and you're only going to see more of it moving forward. And Disney has so much IP now. Like, I mean, now they can, because the big controversy is AI steals, right? But when you own the IP, when you own all the Marvel characters and all these other Disney characters, what's the controversy now? I don't like it, isn't gonna cut it, you know? So it's here.
Yeah, it's here. It's here to stay. I don't know if it's here to stay in the way that you're saying, where it's just like, oh, everything you look, it's going to be AI generated one day. That I don't think is true at all. I think that to speak to the bubble, a point we talk about a lot here at Shag News is that like no one's making money off this thing. Like no one's figured out how to like make massive income off this, except for Nvidia. Nvidia's the one like they're the one company that's just making money hand over fist. Everyone else is just losing money doing it. They're investing in it, but it's because they can afford to lose it. Microsoft, Apple, Disney, they can invest millions, billions into AI. They're not making billions of dollars on any of their AI stuff. Because what does it do that's generating revenue faster? The answer is nothing.
No, you
Now
can't.
somebody
It
might figure
costs more to generate it than it does to earn money. Yeah.
yeah. So somebody might figure the answer out to that, figure out the answer to that someday. But I think in the short term, we're set to see a lot of companies either crash or pull back their efforts or scale back very soon. In Disney's case, yeah, I think the theme park thing is interesting. Could find a way. I don't know. They've been trying to figure out how to streamline the theme park experience for literally like 100 years. like
Yeah.
since like Walt Disney himself was alive and still managing that company, they were still trying to figure out like that's when they came up with like Lightning Pass and all. Like they were trying to figure out because those complaints have always been a thing. And you're right. At the end of the day, everybody wants to just show up and walk around, do what they want to do, without waiting. And there's a real social science to it
Well, you
that
can do
people
that.
still
You
haven't
can do
really
that. It's a
cracked.
$300 an extra person. It's called the Premier Pass, and you get to
Yeah.
use the Lightning Lane, the Fast Pass lane at any ride at any time in the park, uh, but
Hmm.
only once. So you can actually do like and that Nicole Knight is really good at the Disney thing. She gets the fast passes and schedules it out like in a way where it works out. But like you literally the fast pass you just walk on. There may be a 5 minute wait, but you just walk on. Like so like that's the problem is when everyone's scheduling, like if too many people schedule at a certain time at a certain area of the park, it's going to be not available. Now you're only having one ride out of the three and have to go to another park. So it's just, yeah, I mean, there's too many people going and they've tried raising prices. That doesn't really dissuade because people are still going. Weekends, you have to
Yeah.
go on when times when school's not out, right? Take your kids out of school. There were so many kids there on Monday when we went. We're like, is it a school day? Why are there so many children here? Like,
Got a long weekend, baby. Thanks, mom. Something else I want to talk about they mentioned here is Disney Plus itself and the idea of them adding the ability. So they say UGC, which means user
you
generated
generated
content.
content.
Um, Short form user generated content made by AI on Disney Plus. What is that? Like just on the server because they don't say it during their earnings at all. What does that even mean? So like
Probably
when I
something like
open my
Sora,
Disney.
right?
Right. Okay, so I could open like my Disney Plus app. It's Disney, so I could be like, give me a video of Luke Skywalker fighting Goofy with like Slim Jims or whatnot, and then it'll do it. And then what is there like a feed people can click on like Reels where they can just like scroll through those?
Probably.
No, who the fuck wants to look at that? No
Dude,
one's gonna use that. No one's gonna look at
you'd
it.
really be surprised. Like you'd be so surprised.
I don't think I would. I mean, I think people will make so yeah. People will boot it up. They'll do the one that's in their mind. They'll be like, "Show me Rapunzel fighting the Little Mermaid or whatever," and it'll be funny. That's not going to be like the way people engage meaningfully every day. Like, no one's going to get on there. Oh, I got to get back to my Disney Plus AI feed because there was who was it? Meta. Remember when they announced this was early this year? They called it Vibes. They're like, we're adding a new like vertical thing. We have Reels, we have Facebook. We're gonna add Vibes, and it's just all AI generated vertical videos of like cats and shit. And it just DOA. Everyone heard it was like that. Just not interesting. We could just look. We could scroll Reels and just look at people's cat videos. I just do not see a world where an exclusive AI Disney character feed is going to be huge. I just thought that was interesting because that was like a thing that they touted here. Um,
Well,
I don't know what the appetite is when people get on, but people get on streaming services to consume, not to create. Like people don't open Disney Plus to be like, I'm ready to like make like you put it on because you want to watch the new episode of your show or the movie that you've been looking forward to. It just feels like the antithesis to why people even use these services.
man, I didn't realize I don't know why I'm so choppy. That's really weird. I'm like 10 frames
Are
a
you?
second. Yeah. Um, no, yeah, no, you're right. But like, I feel like I used this a little bit. There's a feature in Video Hive that had like demos of like you can make AI generated selfies of people talking about stuff, and it was like so limiting. Like even if you paid for it, videos were 720p, and like if you typed in anything remotely like copywritten, it was like, oh, we can't make Funko Pop, we can't make Slim Jim, we can't make this. So like it's like you have to be like Yeti in forest talking about dentist, and it could make that. But if you were specific about any kind of like IP, which arguably is what people want to see and what people want to fart around with, right? They don't want to see, they want to see Darth Vader fight Wolverine, right? They want to see that. Uh it doesn't work. But like when they own the IP and they can do it, and I'm guarantee you that there'll be huge limitations on it. Like, oh, we don't want to see death. We don't want to
Yeah.
see. There's going to be huge. Like, oh, we can't make that video because we don't want our brand affiliated with violence or whatever. There's going to be things, which again also
Which
defeats the purpose of it. Like, because it's supposed to be like unfiltered creativity. You're supposed to type in anything, you can make anything, right? But no.
that's my point. Is that people are going to open this, look at it, and be like, "Oh, this is stupid," and that'll just be it. Like people aren't going to be like, "Oh my god, this is mind blowing." Like even the concept of being able to generate a video of Kylo Ren and Lilo and Stitch on a road trip together, like is so like 2013 coded. Like it's
Yeah,
something that would have went viral on Facebook a decade and a half ago, and it would have been funny. But like now, it's just stupid. I don't think it's going to take off and be this big thing. I mean, I'm curious to see when they launch it. Uh, I could be wrong, but I just don't see any sort of vision for how that's awesome. And like you said, like all these AI generative software, it's going to have a bunch of stupid limits on it. All the things you think would be cool about it, you won't be able to do. So
I
there
do
you have
think
it.
it's the next step, honestly, and whatever that this is in our culture, in our history, in our society. Like, it is the logical next thing, but it's early. Everyone's scrambling. Everyone's trying to figure out how they can make money off of it. And like that's where it's the Wild West, much like VR was in its early adoption. Just it was very, there was no right way to do things. Everyone was still learning. Like we're still in this, and we may be learning for another 10 years. Who knows? But there are still really good
Yeah.
uses for it. I've seen it in Photoshop, like not just removing things and being able to like rotate. They just did like a whole seminar on like the new Photoshop and all its AI tools. And like that doesn't necessarily mean like generating other people's content, but it means like I take a picture, I can now rotate this picture and it'll generate the background and fill the background based what's in the background, stuff like that, right? Stuff that's supposed to, what AI is supposed to be is a tool that makes our lives easier. But I think too many companies view it as a work replacement, or that's what they're drooling at the mouth, foaming at the mouth for. Is like, oh, we can get rid of the engineers, we can get rid of the workers, we can get rid of the people at the drive-through. This is great. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what they're trying to do now. But I think in the long run, it's supposed to be a tool that makes our lives easier, and that will come at a job loss when you improve technology. That always does. Whether that's self-driving or you used to have a team of 300 people, now it's 30, and then with these AI tools, now it's 5. Unavoidable. It's just what happens.
Yeah. Lucci Dobrin says game-like features like DLCs and loot boxes question mark. Yeah,
Loot
I mean, there's gonna be
boxes.
some bullshit attached to it, right? Like I don't know what form it'll take, but there's gonna be some stupid bullshit because there has to be stupid bullshit because that's how all this stuff works. But
You
yeah,
have
it'll
to
be
walk
interesting.
before you can run,
Yeah, there'll be a whole lot of
or,
walking
or
going
in this
on.
case, stumble repeatedly.
Yeah. Um, I have attached to this, Greg, is I included in the same story you sent me the Michael Caine and Matthew McConaughey signing
Oh
uh
yeah,
deals for their
yeah.
AI likeness for their voices. Two iconic voices, I'd say, but definitely Michael Caine. Michael Caine. I'm sorry, Master Wayne. Uh, definitely an iconic voice thing. Matthew McConaughey as well. All right, all right, all right.
I mean, like it's just interesting because
Um,
I think um I was thought this would take longer to happen. You know what I mean? Like because we talked about this when it was in its infancy, with voice actors being like, not consulting to having their voice being trained, right? And I thought this was going to be a little longer, right? Like maybe they pass away and then like their kids are like, no, I'm not doing that. That's their legacy. And that's criminal and that's weird and bad taste. And then the grandkids are like, I like money. And they just sign away their great grandparents' face and voice rights. I wasn't expecting it to happen this early, I guess. But hey, if there's a steady paycheck in it, Matthew McConaughey and Michael Caine are happy to contribute, I'm sure.
Yeah. Um, we have a quote here from Matthew McConaughey himself in a statement. Since our first conversation, I've been impressed by how the 11 Labs team, that's the company, has taken the magic of the core technology and turned it into products that creators, enterprises, and storytellers use daily. I launched my newsletters, all right, self promo, uh, expanding with the Spanish language edition. Okay, right. So yeah, one of the things they're gonna do with this, they're gonna take his like newsletter and you'll get Matthew McConaughey speaking Spanish, but powered by like AI, because obviously he's not fluent in Spanish really, allowing us to reach and connect with even more people, building blah 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 blah. Yeah, Michael Caine's 92, right? They're gonna be making him say stuff after he dies. Um, yeah, curious to see how this is used. I mean, we have an example there with Matthew McConaughey talking about his newsletter. So, I mean, everybody out there subscribe to the Matthew McConaughey newsletter that wants to hear it read in Spanish. I know that has to apply to thousands of people out there. Um, there you go. Um, but we'll see. This could be, could be interesting. We've already seen this in games. People have been talking about Arc Raiders this week, where they took a bunch of voice actors, signed them to deals, and then they replicated their voices in AI so that every single thing you ping in the game, the characters are like, grab the orange shovel on the table. Things that would have been, I guess, tedious to get a human being
Yeah,
to say. Um, yeah.
the thing that has trouble doing, because I've experimented with all these weird things with the voice changers and stuff like that, is it always has trouble. At least the ones that I've used have trouble with inflection. Until like I can like literally speak into a microphone and be like, make Matthew McConaughey sound like this, and then that all my inflection and my hits are doing what I want it to do. Because when you do text, it's hard to tell like what words you're like. You can do exclamation points and stuff and like emphasize, but the pacing, is it too fast? Is it too slow? No, emphasize this word more than this word. Go up on here, go down on here. So like the ones that are available to the public, I'm sure are very bare bones, but eventually it'll be like a person, like one person in a booth reading from a script for the right inflection with maybe some direction with the right inflection. Then I'm like, cool, now we're gonna just paste Matthew McConaughey's voice over what you just said, or Michael Caine's. I think that's where this is gonna go eventually, because text to speech is still not quite there, almost not quite there.
Yeah. I do want to pull up. I grabbed another article because I saw this headline this morning, just to show the other side of this, that it's not just something everyone's buying in on. Morgan Freeman says he's going to be taking legal action against any companies that are using monetizing his voice using AI. He has a quote here from speaking with The Guardian. He says, "I'm a little pissed off, you know. I'm like any other actor. Don't mimic me with falseness. I don't appreciate it, and I get paid for doing stuff like that. So if you're doing it, you're robbing me." He goes on to say that he's already begun pursuing litigation against many imitators. Another quote here, he says, "Well, I'll tell you, my lawyers have been very, very busy." And then they go on and they talk some more about it. But
Again though, like I mean, like
yeah,
I like that thing. I agree with it, but like Morgan Freeman's also very old school. This reminds me of. It reminds me of there was a quote from Charlie Chaplin, who said that like sound was ruining movies. Remember, he made some big like thing about like how sound was going to ruin all the experience for movies and it was going to change everything. And it was like it's just
it's
whenever there
talkies.
are leaps in technology that are as big as something like that, an older generation of people are going to be against it, and they should be, right? Like he's right. You shouldn't use his likeness or his voice without paying him, right? That's his whole thing. But how long will that last, right? How long before he passes and his estate or whatever and says, "Oh yeah, we can train it now." Like what's the expiration date on that? Because everything has an expiration date, right? That's the point I'm waiting for, Donovan. I'm waiting for that to pour, and everyone's like, yeah, like they've already done it with Stan Lee, right? The people who own Stan Lee's estate already made him an AI person to like horrible
Yeah,
bad
they were
taste.
dragging Stan Lee through the mud when he was still
Yeah,
alive.
it's bad taste, but like how long before bad taste becomes, well, it just is what it is. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm waiting for. And I think once we turn that corner, it's no holds bar. It's already getting like ridiculously hard to spot a fake photo. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or a fake video. And then now when you have voice actors saying something like, think about the context, or when they die, right? There was controversy in the Blade Runner movie when they brought someone back. Remember, one of the actresses had died, I believe, and people were like, is this right? Should they do that? Can we do this? Like, is it ethical? But there is no ethical in capitalism, Donovan. It doesn't matter. We need to make money.
Right. Slinky Jim says when everyone is gone from Skynet, yeah.
Yeah, we need to make
Yeah,
money.
talking about
Make number go up.
No, you're all gonna be gone, man. These things use water. But Greg, we do have some exciting stories to talk about, which we're going to get to on the other side of a little plug here, because people should follow the stream, and that means on Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Just follow Shack News, people. We're all over the place. We're even on YouTube, where we've got 3 freaking channels. Greg, what's been going on over on the Shack News YouTube lately?
Oh my god. I'm buried in stuff. I'm absolutely, positively, unequivocally buried. Hold on, I just messed up this stream. I know I didn't mess up the stream. Where's the? No, sorry. There it is. Okay. Lots of stuff. Donovan's like, so unprofessional, Greg. Lots of stuff. If you just type in Shack News in your search bar, you'll find us. We have 3 channels. We have a Shack News VODs channel, which you find all the VODs from Twitch. Getting going there. Oh, that's loud. Sorry, Sadie. My cat jumped. But we have a bunch of stuff that's going up tomorrow at 6 a.m. that you won't want to miss. Your life may very well depend on it. Rhymes with... No, I'm just kidding. I can't say anything. L. Simpson. So this is where we do all of our features, our gameplay videos, our shorts, our contacts. We have a lot of great features on here for like long form stuff. We do have a Borderlands documentary. There's no thumbnails because I'm buried, but you can check out there. Shack News interviews, where we have interviews with game devs, developers, celebrities, voice actors, scientists, engineers, super fun stuff. We did a bunch of stuff for Epic Universal, talked to some ride engineers. I always think that's fascinating. You can check that out there. Check those out. Shack News and Shack News interviews.
Hell yeah. You do a lot of great work over there. And speaking of great work, boy, are the animators at Illumination doing some great work on the new Super Mario Brothers movie, which is called the Super Mario Galaxy movie, Greg. We got our first full-length trailer for it. We've already done a reaction over on the Shack News YouTube channel. People can go find. But this is our movie discussion show, so I figured why not talk about it some more. Greg, I thought this trailer looked like a lot of fun. Obviously, the first Mario movie was a blast. We're jumping straight into Galaxy, which is a bit of a leap, one might think. But we've seen Rosalina in this trailer. We see Bowser Jr. We see Bowser still tiny and trapped in his castle. We got a lot going on in this trailer here. What did you think about it, though, Greg? I haven't heard your thoughts.
That'd be beautiful. I mean, like the one thing I always liked about Nintendo, and this is for valid reasons, is they're just taking their time with everything because they're still relatively new to the space. Nintendo's a great company that likes to learn from mistakes, and I use that word loosely, mistakes. But so we got the first movie, what, 2-3 years ago? 2 years ago? 2023?
2 years ago. It's 2023.
So so it's we're gonna have a 3-year gap between the first and second movie, where other franchises have like rushed really quickly to get like a trilogy out as fast as humanly possible. But they're taking their time, right? Everything is, there's small details they have to trust in their partner for Universal. I think the story's good. I like seeing Bowser Jr. Rosalina's fun. I'm saying I'm a little like disappointed in like the lack of a diverse cast. You know, like most of the main leads are just, you know, there's not a lot of diversity in the main leads. Although like I do like Charlie Day as Luigi. Chris Pratt and Mario is fine. Jack Black as Bowser is great. Everyone loves a comeback, right? I'll be putting him back on the map, and he's been on Minecraft since. He's been very, very busy man. And they announced that Brie Larson is Rosalina. I mean, that's fine. I feel like Nintendo has to trust Universal in some aspect of like filmmaking, because they haven't really done it before. And like, honestly, people like Chris Pratt, Brie Larson, and now Jack Black put butts in seats. You know, we put them on the poster. People Brie Larson, whether you like her or not, like, she's a household name. Everyone knows who she is. So you put her on the poster as a main character. You know, kids are going to recognize her. Parents are going to recognize her. You get that demographic. The newcomer is Bowser Jr. He hasn't been in much, which is kind of interesting. This might be their tests to see if, based on like their auditions that they liked, maybe they just really liked his audition, right? Maybe it wasn't
Wait,
analytically
wait, wait,
driven.
wait, 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 wait. Benny Safdie's not a newcomer, Greg. You
He's not
talking
a
about
newcomer
the
to
actor
voice
for
work.
about it? No, Benny Safdie made Uncut Gems. He just made a movie. He just directed a movie with The Rock.
Right, he's
He
like
was
he's
in
a writer and a
Oppenheimer.
director, right? By trade
He
first,
was an
right?
He was an Oppenheimer. Like
Okay.
he's a big name. He does both. He's like an actor, uh, director hybrid. He usually makes movies with his brother Josh Safdie. They did Uncut Gems, obviously their big movie with Adam Sandler. Did Good Time, which is a Robert Pattinson movie that I think is really good and underrated. He acted in that one as well.
Right, but
He
he has been in, how many movies has he been in?
as an actor, one, two, three, four, five, six,
Okay.
7, 8, 9, 10.
When I clicked on his IMDb, like it said like this and something else, so that must have been like another credit or something.
Yeah. No, he's been in some stuff. I mean, he's gonna be in the Odyssey next year. Now I will say he does a lot of mature movies. Usually it's like R-rated like dramas and stuff that he does. So this is like a very different role for him. Which is why I was so surprised that they announced Betty Safdie's playing Bowser Jr. But he's a good actor. He's the guy in Oppenheimer when they're talking about building the bomb and how it's like going to be the biggest one in like the history of the world and all that. He like leads it and goes until someone else builds a bigger bomb, which is like the moment people always meme
Okay, so
from that
yeah,
movie.
I
That's
wasn't
really really
familiar with
funny.
any of his work prior,
Yeah,
and I'm sure a lot of kids aren't either, but I'm sure they will be.
kids, watch Uncut Gems
Watch
for the
Uncut
Super
Gems, yeah,
Mario
and
Galaxy
Oppenheimer. You'll
movie.
love it. You'll love it.
And yeah, develop an anxiety disorder over the course of 90 minutes watching that movie.
I mean, I feel like
Um,
in this case, like I feel like the edition tape must have been really good, right? Or they're just very Nintendo's very analytically driven, or for some reason Universal's like you need him in the movie because X Y Z. I don't know if that's the case for him. I think maybe just he killed the audition. Sometimes that can happen. Like Chris Pratt, don't audition. He don't do auditions. You just give it to him. Like he is not doing auditions. He just signs on. But
yeah,
other
maybe he just
people,
knows somebody. He's around in Hollywood. Maybe somebody Universal's
it
like
is a
my
very
guy.
small industry, a lot smaller than people think it
Maybe
is.
yeah, or maybe he's secretly some huge Nintendo fan. That's Brie Larson is interesting because yes, she's from Hollywood, but she's a huge Nintendo person. Her and Nintendo have a relationship. She was in a Switch commercial during the pandemic. She used to make Animal Crossing YouTube videos during the pandemic when New Horizons came out. She had that news article a few years ago where she said that she told her boyfriend like to leave the house for a while because he kept getting annoyed that she was talking about Galaxy or whatever she was playing it on her Switch. So she's been like in the Nintendo universe, Greg. She was at Universal, Universal Epic Universe opening with us. We didn't see her because there were a million people there, but she was there for that. So she's kind of already in the Nintendo ecosystem. So I think that made a lot of sense. She's a really good actor. She won an Academy Award. So that's a good pick. We hear her voice not in the trailer, but they put out a separate clip where she's talking to the Lumas and she's like, "Here's the story of blah blah blah," and then they're like, "We want to hear about the plumbers." Which it was a cute little scene. We see
Or yeah, the
Rosalina
Star
fight at
Kids,
the
the
end of this trailer.
Star Bites or whatever. Yeah. No, it is interesting too
Yeah,
because people are like, why can't you? Like, they should have used the Rosalina voice from the games. I'm like, yeah, but the game voices are like they're it's
that's
a
yeah.
different type of medium. Yeah, it really is. Like especially for those voices, like Mario, like Charles Martinet is a great. He's great Mario, but like have him doing full blown on sentences would probably be weird because it's very bombastic, very over the top, very like almost like an over the top for like anime level like
Yeah,
voice. I
you
don't think it
yeah.
would translate well to a film like that, right? Not outside of a video game.
If yeah, it's we do this every single time
Mm.
a video game gets adapted to a movie or show. People are like, just cast the voice actors for the characters, and I appreciate the heart of that argument, and I love that people are sticking up for voice actors because they're very underrated and they don't get a lot of shine. But in I'd say like 90% of the cases, it's probably not the best idea. The one I could think of that they didn't work out was Tails in the not Mario, in the Sonic movies. Is the actual woman who voices Tails in the show, which is such an interesting choice because they went with like Ben Schwartz for Sonic and Idris Elba for Knuckles. I don't know what it was about Tails that they were just like, let's just get this lady back. But yeah, you did not want to watch a 90-minute movie of Mario being like, we have to go to the castle. He would have sounded like Mickey
You
Mouse. It would have
sound like Mickey
been
Mouse.
terrible. That's what it would have sounded like. Yeah, because usually it's just Mario Kart 8 or Let's
Yeah, very
Go.
very short little spurts of like sounds and sound effects.
Yeah. So I get it. I think these are two good additions. I think the animation in this trailer looks sick, man. This got some like style to it. The scene where they're like driving through the desert and you get the close-ups on their visors and like the tires kicking up the dirt and the sand. I'm like, that shit's got some sauce to it.
Oh yeah, man. Like
I
I'm
like
telling you,
it.
like I mean, they're like I've said this a while, both in theme park and animation tech. I feel like Universal's beginning to surpass Disney in a lot of this stuff, like in just their tech. I feel like they're. I feel like they're ahead because I mean, Moana 2 is arguably one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen. Like they did a lot of cool water tech, a lot of cool like neon
Gorgeous.
growing lights, beautiful film. But like Mario when it came out looked absolutely fantastic, and like this looks more fantastic. Like I just think I feel like they're just running ahead of Disney, and their theme parks I think are even like a step up. You know, not accounting for history because they've been around a lot less. Like, but like they're doing more things, interesting things. I think Nintendo has a lot to do with that. Like, how many? Can you imagine having to show like scenes to Miyamoto or Nintendo, and they're like, "No, fix this, fix this." That sounds like very Nintendo, right? No,
I
the
mean,
mustache doesn't curl enough. The hat should have more texture. Like little notes like that. That notes that
I
Nintendo's known for.
will never see it, but I would have
Oh,
loved to have seen all of the models or stuff that they like went through, like all of the like. I mean, this is R&D and whatnot, and just figuring out, trying to refine designs and stuff before they ever started actually animating the movie. Like all the different iterations of Mario. Like I wonder what the first Mario model they like drew up and like showed to Nintendo looked like, right? And for Luigi and Bowser and Peach and stuff, I'm sure that would have been very fascinating to see. Um, Maybe one day in a BTS doc.
Oh yeah, I mean, be a fly on the wall in that room would be amazing. Like you'll never see it. Nintendo's a
Mhm.
very very private company. But yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be great because it's that attention to detail that Nintendo is known for. Like it's really like it's that small stuff that doesn't really get by
Hmm.
them. Occasionally might slip, but usually they take their time with stuff. Mainly because
Yeah.
they're new. They're new to this segment of the industry, so they want to take their time, right? They really want to find a good partner and do stuff. Because I guarantee after the first movie, Universal was like, "Oh my god, okay, now we're gonna make a cinematic universe, and we want 10 movies over the next 10 years." And they're like, "Well, slow down here. We're gonna try Sony out, but you guys can do the sequel. Let's start this over again, right? Let's get this."
Well, they have. I mean, you could argue that Nintendo has a closer relationship with Universal than any other company at this point, or as
Yeah,
close of one, right? You think of their theme park collaborations, where we've got now, we were just there. They opened up another theme park together. They did this movie together. Chris Meledandri, who was the founder of Illumination at Universal, is on Nintendo's board of directors. So they are like completely in bed with each other. They don't have them at arm's length. And it is very ironic because many years ago, I believe Universal sued Nintendo for Donkey Kong or vice versa because King Kong versus Donkey Kong. So times have changed, but yeah, clearly there's a lot of respect on both sides there, and they've they know how to work together because they made a movie that earned 1.3 billion dollars at the global box office, which ask any studio that makes movies is not easy to do. And if I had to guess, they're going to do it again with the Mario Galaxy movie, which comes out, Greg, April
spring,
2026.
spring next year. Yeah,
Um,
so like what, six
yeah, let's
months,
go to the premiere.
5 months? Oh, I'd love
Yeah,
to. But for those of you
we can do
watching,
it.
the entertainment PR and gaming PR are two separate entities, and entertainment PR is incredibly different, like incredibly different.
That's
Uh,
all right. We do entertainment stuff.
we do. It's a lot difficult. Like especially when there's video game crossover, you figured would be a shoe in, but not all the time, man. Not all the time, which is very very
We'll figure it
strange.
out. See, look, we say all this, but then it's gonna happen. There's gonna be gaming people all over the red carpet, so we can be there. That's how it was when the last Mario movie came out. We saw there's so many people we knew that were at that damn thing. We'll be there. We're gonna figure it out, even if we have to climb over a fence and sneak in through a warp pipe. Um, you'll see, you'll see us in the
Disguise
background of a
yourself as
Getty
is
Images
E
photo.
News and just go the.
Yeah, I'll just
who
get one of
who
those
are you
suits that the guys in
wearing?
Times Square would have. Who are you wearing?
Some of those
Yeah, I'm the
questions, man.
like,
I'm like, why? Like, why
I'm like,
so?
Coles. Yeah, we'll figure something out. Slinky Jim said a lot of people thought it wasn't as creative as the first one's trailer. It's the thing with sequels, man. It's so hard to replicate the magic of the first of anything that's good. I remember that first trailer. It starts off and it's like, "Open the gates," and it's like the penguins in the Ice Kingdom. There's just a sense of wonder and mystery to it that you just can't get on a part two, no matter how good it is. But the first Mario movie had a great trailer, I will say. Um, and I'm excited to see how this one comes together. Hey, Greg, speaking of sequels, they're making Gremlins 3. And Christopher Columbus is directing it.
That
Christopher
poor
Columbus, who you
movie
may
has been through the ringer
Christopher
for
Columbus. Well,
decades.
now they're actually making it though. But now they're actually making it, and they're filming it. Christopher Columbus is directing it. He, of course, didn't direct the old ones. That was Joe Dante. but Christopher Columbus produced them. Christopher Columbus also directed the first couple of Harry Potter movies. He's made a lot of those like childhood films that you love. Also done some other great stuff. I believe Roma was
Oh,
him in
he did Home
2019.
Alone.
Really good movie.
He did
Home
Home
Alone,
Alone.
yeah, a lot of those nostalgic movies you got. He's coming back. He's going to direct Gremlins 3. It's coming out in 2027. It's been officially greenlit at Warner Brothers. They got the screenwriters, the guy who wrote the last Final Destination movie, which is kind of gnarly. Spielberg producing. We're getting the Mogwais. Greg, you remember Gremlins? Gremlins came out the same weekend as Ghostbusters back in 1984. Uh, are you excited for Three Emblens?
I mean, these legacy sequels, like I'm not the biggest fan of all these legacy sequels. I feel like a lot of it's a time and a place, like very 80s. And like the second Gremlins, like, is an original idea, an original concept, which like excelled being it was known for two things, being dark and its like practical effects, or like its puppets were like very impressive and how many they had. And then the second one is
Yeah.
arguably like a big joke project. Like it's very so like Joe Dante loves Looney Tunes. If you watch the second one, have you ever seen any of these movies, Donovan?
I've seen Gremlins. I watched it over the pandemic in its entirety. Gremlins 2, I haven't seen, but I watched the Dead Meat Kill Count, so I've seen a comprehensive summary of it. I know it's silly. I know it's got a million gremlins. I know they wear lipstick and party and do stupid
Right.
stuff.
It's more like Joe Dante loves Looney Tunes. So like his like the second one is like so really Looney Tunes like inspired, like at the sound effects and what they do. And again, like a highlight of that is the puppets. Like the puppets look really good. There's a spider puppet. There's a bat puppet. Like there's all this weird stuff that happens that Joe puts in his movies. I don't know if we'll still have that same magic. I mean, like there'll definitely be CGI things in this movie somewhere, if not for even for just a little bit, right? They're not going to do stop motion or puppets for everything. If they do, that would be amazing. I don't know. Like, is the audience still here? Because arguably, it's like me, it's like millennials, like older millennials and Gen X are like remember what Gremlins are. It's not a kid friendly franchise either. Not the first one. The first one's pretty dark and pretty like violent. Like people die in that movie. You don't really see it, but people die. A lot of people
Hopefully, after
die.
midnight. Yeah. Um, Greg, it's been 35 years since the last Gremlins movie came out. 35 years. People have like been born and lived entire adult lives in that time.
Well, they've
Um,
done a show. They've done an animated show. They did a Gizmo
they did a show.
show.
Howie Mandel came back to voice Gizmo.
Oh wow.
He did the Gizmo voice for that animated show. I assume he'll probably come back for this too. I don't know if that kid's gonna come back from the first one, but I mean that dude's been on Twitter asking for a job. Every time someone posts like the article for this thing, he's been on there like I emoji, I emoji. I forget his name, but it's the actor who played the kid in the first Gremlins. He's like, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do
My,
this. He wants to come back and be his Gremlin character again. So
my question for you specifically, Donovan, is does the name? I know that name Spielberg for you means something because you love Jurassic Park, but for like the Gen Y or Gen Alpha, does Spielberg have any like sway with that generation? Like, do they know who he is? Do they care? Like, I don't know. I mean, they're young, right? I mean,
I mean, to my little brother, probably not. I mean, to me, yes. I mean, if you tell me
right.
Spielberg's making something, I'm in a seat because he's the greatest filmmaker living. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if that's the pull here. I think it's the IP is the pull. I mean, Spielberg's attached because he was attached to Gremlins. But I think the pull here is Gremlins is back. That's what they're trying to draw people in with. Does that appeal to Gen Alpha? Also no. But Gremlins does have it has that viral DNA in it. It has obviously Gremlins came out before the internet, but Gremlins checks a lot of boxes for things that are popular and trendy and famous. They're cute little cuddly creatures. They have like a weird mean streak that's like silly but also creepy and scary. They have rules to them. They're furry. They look like Labubus, or I should say Labubus look like Gremlins. Those were a popular thing. You don't think there's going to be a Labubu joke in the next Gremlins movie? I bet you there will be. Um, they have that DNA, right? Where I could see a universe where a Gremlins comes out and the right marketing team could have a feast with it. That said, it is an old IP, or nobody knows what it is. Interestingly enough, the word gremlin has like stuck around in pop culture like vernacular. Even when people aren't talking about the movie, I've called people gremlins before I ever watched the first movie a few years ago, just because it's like a term just for like people who are like little fucks, little freaks, that do like annoying shit. So there's some sort of like mind share that that IP still has. It's a sliver, but they're gonna try to tap into it. So I mean, we're gonna see.
I mean, we'll
It's
see. Like
coming.
these legacy sequels, some of them, like I mean, some of them are okay. Some of them like bomb bad. It just depends, I guess. I think having to wait this long with nothing but a cartoon show, I think is rough. You know what I mean? Like, I
But
mean,
that's what builds the anticipation. That's how all these legacy sequels thrive. Is like it's back. It's been 20. It's been 30.
right.
That's like the big appeal.
Hey, remember Gremlins?
Yeah.
Like, it's that kind of conversation around the dinner table. But I mean, I don't know. Like, and then again, what you could do a reboot too. Like, that could be an option. But I mean, because you do have to arguably you have to explain to younger kids what the hell they are, right? I mean, it's one thing to like know that Jurassic Park exists, but it's another to like be around it when it's everywhere, right? When it's unavoidable. Like that's a
Yeah.
different experience, right? I
And I
mean,
can I can see it. I can like see the
right.
vision of how because you said they have to explain to young people. They're gonna lean into the rules. The commercials will be like, you can't feed them after midnight. You can't get them
They did that
wet,
trailer, I
and you
think, in the
cannot.
first one. That was their thing.
These kids haven't seen it, they'll do it again. And you cannot put them on your backpack like a Labubu and post a TikTok about it. And then Gizmo will jump into the screen and it'll be like, this summer, Gremlins is blah, blah, blah. And it'll be a whole thing. And they'll show kids like in class with their phones doing the thing. And then the Gremlin will be on the desk doing this. And then at night, the kid will be playing like Fortnite on his Xbox. And then Gizmo will unplug it and be like, feed me, or whatever the hell they do. Um, I want to shout out some chat comments as I'm pitching my Gremlins sequel. Denny said the Gizmo merchandise is going to flood the internet. Exactly, right? Like Baby Yoda looks like a freaking gremlin. Like it just Gremlin DNA. I think is in a lot of the stuff that like pops off
The
today
ears
on the
are the
internet.
same, yeah, and
The
there's it's
ears,
small, yeah, the ear, the big ears.
yeah. I mean, all that stuff. Slinky Jim's talking about AI gremlins. We're saying curses now. We're putting words together that were never meant to be said in the same sentence.
I feel like in
More
today's
interest,
world
yeah.
you could take a picture of a gremlin from the second movie and be like Disney leaks adult Grogu and like people would buy it and that's dangerous.
Adult Grogu.
What have they done to
Yeah,
Grogu? Why is he all mad? Why does he have a mohawk?
yeah. I
Dude, so
mean,
you don't understand. Like
look at
my
the
nephew's 17. Like he's sending me stuff on Instagram all the time, and I'm like, hey, this is staged. Hey, this is not real. And he's like, it's not. I'm like, because they just and that's how it spreads, right? Like it happens all the time. Misinformation. I mean, I do it sometimes too, right? You
yeah.
just
I
but
mean,
the
we've been
shit.
getting fooled by hoax videos on the internet ever since we could upload videos to the
Yeah,
internet. But
like
yeah,
but it helps that we work in a news
under the
cycle. So
window.
like when there's a leaked poster of the new Tom Holland Iron Man movie, I'm like, yeah, that's not true because it would be everywhere instantaneously. Like there's that's not real. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like it's not a real thing. But
yeah,
yeah,
and
it's
that's a
just
larger
yeah,
conversation.
just
It's
be
very
careful.
easy to get
Remember,
people.
if you read something that seems really bombastic and out there, and you only find like one source for it, probably not real, right? It's probably just trying to get your attention. So just be careful.
I
But
don't
yeah,
want to check my sources. I want to quote retweet it and yell.
but I gotta type immediately in the comment section how angry I am that it's inclusive.
Greg,
That's like,
I'm gonna I'm gonna dovetail this discussion into our next news story
sorry, yeah,
because
go give
voila,
me a.
story number five. No, story number five is also a legacy sequel to a nostalgic beloved IP that's been dead for years, despite multiple failed attempts to revive it. The Mummy is coming back, but this time we got Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz returning. If you saw the 2017 Tom Cruise Mummy movie, no, you didn't.
It was gonna
Because we're
launch the
getting
universe, Donovan. It was gonna launch
it was going to launch Dark
the
Universe, Dark
dark. You
Universe,
remember
which is now the name of a
The
theme park,
tweet it went viral when that movie bombed.
with all the actors superimposed. Javier Bardem, Tom Cruise, Johnny Depp, all these actors who were never in a room together, superimposed into a photo together. Yeah, that was great. Greg, this is what we missed last week when we were out. This is actually a big deal. Universal is bringing back the Mummy, but we're getting Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz back, Greg. They were in the original one, and Brendan Fraser was in the sequels. Rachel Weisz got recast at one point,
Oh,
but
that
not
movie
only are
doesn't
we getting a
exist to my
new,
wife. We love the first one. She doesn't like the third one. She's like the
well,
yeah.
guess Nicole is going to get her wish because if Rachel Weisz is coming back, they got to retcon that movie, no?
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Does she know about this? Is Nicole
Yes,
excited?
yes. She. I mean, like we think the original movie is such a gem, right? And it like there's not a lot of movies that compare to Indiana Jones. The Mummy is like really close up there. Lots of colorful characters, great cast. I thought the director was good until I saw him do other things, and I'm just like, no, he's okay. He's not good. He definitely crutches on visual effects more than he needs to. But this one was definitely like one of those things. Like we're gonna reboot the Mummy because it was based on what the 1960s or 40s. They're 40s, I think, right? Old.
I
those
don't know when this takes place, but yeah, way
think
back in the
well,
day.
no, I know the movie takes place in the 30s, which is cool, like 20s, 30s, which is kind of cool because you don't really see a lot of movies take place in that time or 1913, whatever.
Yeah.
But no, but it's based off the original Mummy movie, right? It's a reboot of the original Mummy movie that was made in 1940 or whatever.
Oh, yeah, you're talking classic Universal Monster.
Yeah,
That shit's been around for 100
so
years.
that
Yeah.
was the concept, right? They're gonna reboot it, and everything just kind of worked, right? Like Brendan Fraser was now an action hero. The casting was perfect. Lightning in a bottle. The second movie, it's arguably like it has moments, has some funny quotable moments. I like the movie, but like it's not as great. But it's in that rare occasion where you see like someone have a family, like now they're a family, which is something you don't really see in these kind of types of movies, like Indiana Jones until much later. But that's a cool concept. But the first one was such a lightning in a bottle. We love this movie. We quote it all the time. There's great scenes in it. It's great casting. Everyone has a role. Everyone has a point. Everyone has a is a piece in the machine. It's such a great film that's hold up after the years. Arguably, some of the mummy effects have not, but the story has and the characters have. But
Mm.
Donovan, they're so old now. They're so old.
Well, they're old, sure, because the sands of time are always moving. But Brendan Fraser's having a resurgence, dude. He won an Oscar a couple years ago. He had that speech on stage. He was crying. He's talking about not getting, put in movies and stuff. He's got a new movie coming out this month or next month called Rental Family, where he like goes to live with the Japanese
Oh, that
family.
looks
And
good. Yeah, I've
apparently
seen that.
that's
Looks good too. Yeah.
yeah. But he's having this resurgence where he's like leading movies again after not doing it for a very long time. And interesting part of the story is being directed by Radio Silence, which if that name sounds familiar, it's because I've said it on this show many, many, many times because these are the people, Greg, who made the last couple Scream movies. These are the guys who did Scream 5, the reboot in 2022, and then Scream 6 in 23. They ain't doing the new one, but they did the last couple. They also did Abigail, which is that vampire ballerina movie. Um, that's a fun pick, I think. They're horror guys. They have the vision for like creepy stuff. Um, this could be fun. You and Nicole gonna go see this? You excited?
I don't know,
Rachel
man. Like I
Weisz,
said, they're
she's
really
back.
old. They're really old. Even in Afterlife, when
He
we
can
saw
still
Ghost,
act.
even when I saw Ghostbusters Afterlife, I was like, man, they're old. Like I'm just like,
Okay, well, he's not gonna be playing his 30-year-old character anymore. He's gonna be 50 in the movie.
right. So, but is he gonna like? We don't like. Is his son gonna be in it? Like, is it gonna be like? Is his
Maybe, yeah,
son?
probably. They'll probably have a kid.
I don't know, man. I just feel like something like this was time gated. You know what I mean? You had your, and then like they made four. Was it four movies? They made two. They made The Mummy, The Mummy Returns, the spinoff of The Scorpion King, and then the third one, which was like atrocious. Uh, I remember watching that
Right.
movie and everything from the dialogue to the editing to the everything was just terrible. Uh,
But isn't The Mummy timeless? We're talking about a 100-year-old IP. This is older than like every IP we've talked about. It's older than Mario, Gremlins, all that
Yes,
stuff.
that's true. But
Superman.
then you look at the Tom Cruise Mummy and you're like, what did they what? Like how did they mess that up? Right? You're just like, how
Yeah.
did this get through? Like it's man, there's no
Well,
formula.
sometimes you
Like
make a bad
people,
movie.
it's a combination of things, including time at the current times, right? The this is early 2000s, I think.
I mean, the original was late 90s
Late
or early
90s. Okay,
90s.
so 19 or wait,
First, no, the first one was 99. The first one was
yeah, so
99.
like
Yeah.
it's 1990. So like I mean, arguably like this that some of these things are time capsules, and like despite what studios would like to believe, there is no perfect algorithm to make $1 billion. Like, I mean, maybe there is now with Minecraft. I don't know, but like, it's that's not usually the case. It can still fumble horribly and not be picked up. It's right time, right place. It's right improv, right writing. I mean, like we've seen it with games. Like to compare Daikatana. Daikatana had like some of the most brilliant people in games, like game development at the time, and it completely failed. So like, it doesn't matter. It's just it's lightning in a bottle. I don't know what I had to see more. To me, like you said Radio Silence is like they're like a slasher kind of horror type of team. I when I think of the
They've
Mummy,
they
especially
mostly
this
done
one,
horror.
I don't think horror. I think like action adventure. You know what I mean? Not horror. Although
Yeah.
I'd say there are horror elements in it for sure, but like very little. I say the majority of it
Yeah.
is just like the quips and the lines and a strong female. For 1999, a strong female support lead. She actually did
Well,
stuff.
those are in their DNA though. I mean, the quips and stuff. I mean, Scream is horror comedy. They did Ready or Not, which is so good.
Oh,
That's
Ready or
the horror
Not's
comedy where
great. Oh, that's so
that's
good.
them.
I didn't realize it was
It's
them.
those
That's great.
directors.
That Ready Not's fantastic.
Yeah, I think that's closer to the vibe you probably get, where it's like it's violent, so it's scary and creepy, but it's funny and like slapstick and she's shotgun and running down the halls and stuff.
I feel like
Yeah,
I feel like in modern filmmaking today too, there's so much bloatedness in films, like just in general, like overall, there's characters that aren't needed or aren't warranted, or subplots that go nowhere really, that aren't like, that just these major offenders. And you look back to these movies, and I'm like, everything has, like, if I remove any one of these pieces, the movie doesn't work, right? The movie falls apart because this doesn't happen, and like it cascades into like a nothingness. You've heard of this theory too, right? The Everyone has something to do, everyone has a meaning, everyone has a role. Uh,
sure.
and I feel like in modern movie making, it's you throw a bunch of stuff in, and then like it just you can remove whole characters, whole supporting characters, and everything. The timeline still stays the same. And I don't want that to
Mm.
happen with this movie. And it's always, we'll always have The Mummy. We watch it regularly. We love that film. It's fantastic. We saw it in theaters. They made a lot of money. Arguably, I want to say it put Brendan Fraser on the map for action star, because before he was
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
yeah. And then he talks about this too. Like he talks about it. Kevin Smith talks about the three strike rule in Hollywood. You'll hear about that from many actors, where when you do three bad movies that don't make any money, like no one will touch you. Like no producer will touch you, no studio will touch you. I don't know how that true is today, but back in like mid 2000s, when I stayed in that kind of news cycle, I remember seeing those interviews. And Brendan Fraser had the three strike thing. He did three bad movies, and then no one touched him for years. And then he came back, and people love like you said, Donovan. People love a comeback. People love a comeback,
Yeah.
especially like with him doing like heavy. He's doing some heavy acting too. He's not just doing like comedies. He's doing heavy acting. So we'll see, man. I'll see. I don't know. I like the 99 movie. Bryan Singer is it Bryan Singer or Brian Summers who directed it? I think it's
Not
Brian
Brian, not Brian Singer. Brian Singer
Summers.
did X-Men movies and also a lot of other stuff. It was Summers.
Summers,
Steven
yeah.
Summers.
Like I thought, I was like, oh, he's a great director. Then we saw a couple of his other movies, like Van Helsing, and we're just like, wow, it's just the whole, like, we're talking about like bad CGI green screen movie where like he just does all this terrible, like Van Helsing should have been a shoe-in for me. That's so cool. Like gothic horror fantasy is great, but like it was just awful. Just awful. Like they gave him a huge budget, because that put him on, this movie put him on the map. And he's not attached because he's had his three strikes, I think, too. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It's like we'll have to wait
Yeah.
and see. I mean, Universal
Yeah, well,
is on fire though. Like they're not missing, man. Like they miss rarely, right? They missed with the Megan sequel, I think, but like Five Nights at Freddy's took off. Like they're doing it, and they're arguably, I think they're arguably, them and A24 are like the two ones that are getting the horror genre. Like they really know how to do it, right? They really understand what they want to do with it.
Well, for your sake, Greg, I hope this movie's good. I rode the Mummy roller coaster for the first time with you at Universal Studios this past May, and I thought it was pretty fun.
Did we go on the Mummy coaster? Oh no, you're talking about the castle one, right? The Dark Castle, right?
Oh, no. You know what? I didn't go on this with you.
Oh, you got
because
there
you
early. All
were
right,
late.
I missed it. I missed that day.
Yeah, they took us to the other parks, and I got on the Mummy ride with other people that were there.
If you guys have never been
That
to a
was
soft
experience.
opening for a theme park, it's the most amazing experience in the world. Everything outside of merch is free, so all the food is free. There are no lines. It's a dream, and I'm so privileged to be able to do this twice. Once for Universal Nintendo Land, and then once for Epic Universe. Fantastic. It's why I made like 50 videos, because would it be invited back?
That was the most privilege I've felt all year, I think.
It's so great.
Danny said even The Invisible Man got a good movie. The Invisible Man got a phenomenal movie. That shit was so good. The 2021 Invisible Man movie. Holy
I
hell,
still
that
haven't
movie's
seen
good.
that.
Watch it.
I've seen Hollow Man,
dude.
which is basically the
So-
same thing, right?
Don't know. The new Invisible Man with
Hollow Man's
Elizabeth
on the same
Moss,
level, right? They're totally the same
Lee
movie.
Winnell. It's so good. I will say it's very bleak. It's dark. Like, don't watch it thinking you're gonna have like a fun, scary movie night. It's like heavy. It's a very heavy movie, but fuck, that movie's good. Then he said, "Greg, get the fuck out of here." Yeah, exactly. All right.
Don't
We're
like
gonna get
Hollow
into some
Man. What's up?
reviews.
It's Kevin Bacon. People love Kevin Bacon.
Hell no, dude. Greg, it's time to review some things, and
Oh,
I'm
boy.
excited about the reviews I brought to the show today. Last week, a little TV show premiered on Apple TV Plus called Pluribus.
Wait, how do you spell that?
Pluribus, Pluribus.
I
It is.
okay. That sounds so phallic. I can't even begin to describe what I think that
Okay,
sounds like.
have you ever heard E pluribus unum? It's the America's, well, technically it's not our official motto. It used to
Good
be.
morning,
It's on the
Carol.
dollar. It means
Is
out of
there
many one.
anything we could do to cheer you up?
It's like Latin, I think. But essentially, this is the new show from Vince Gilligan, who made Breaking Bad and its subsequent spin-off Better Call Saul. And it stars Rhea Seehorn, who was Kim Wexler in Better Call Saul, phenomenal actress, never won an Emmy, crazy to think about.
The same
But
cul-de-sac in
the
Breaking Bad, which is funny.
I saw people saying that, yeah. I mean, they filmed it on a set, but yeah, it does look like Breaking Bad. And he films all the stuff in New Mexico, so he clearly has an affinity for that state. But the concept of the show, Greg, so unlike the grounded kind of story of like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, those gritty stories. The concept is essentially there is a virus that kind of breaks out and turns all of humanity into a hive mind. Everyone shares like one brain, and everyone it's a hive mind. But this woman, the main character, is immune to it. She's not affected. She's not part of it. So everybody else is part of this hive mind, and they're all like, "We want to make the world happy. Like we want to make you happy. That's what we're here for. No violence. Like we're just giving people food. We're spreading positivity. Like we're just want to make everyone happy, and we want to live in harmony." And obviously, by making everybody one single mind, like is accomplishing that. And
What about a bazooka?
it's the show is her like it's essentially the end of the world, right? Because everything shuts down pretty much. People die and whatnot, and it's her just going through the motion. Squire says that's the premise of We Happy Few. Yeah, it is similar to We Happy Few, um, and it's her pretty much trying to reckon with this and trying to fight against it because she is a very like curmudgeon-y kind of like just like unhappy person just generally. She's an author. She writes like these like romance like smut novels, but she hates them.
She's a writer and she hates
Um,
it. So that's basically
yeah, yeah, she's a writer. She hates her life.
Is there anything we could do
But
to
yeah,
cheer
this is
you
only
up?
2 episodes in. I think it's really good so far. I'm enjoying it. The concept, I was a little nervous going in because obviously, I watch Breaking Bad, I watch Better Call Saul. I just want another like gritty like street drama. But so the high concept, I was like, okay, but it's really fascinating so far. Obviously, a movie that has a lot to say philosophically and about society, and I think a lot about AI. Vince Gilligan had a quote when they were talking about the show, and he was like, I fucking hate AI. He said, I haven't used it yet because nobody's put a shotgun to my head and made me do it. Was the quote he said. So yeah, and I think there's definitely parallels you can draw where it's this whole idea where it's like, you know, we have this extreme intelligence, right? Where it's like you talk to any person and they know everything that every living human knows, right? There's like a
right.
12-year-old kid and they're like he could do open heart surgery because he has the knowledge of every doctor on Earth.
Yeah.
Um, they're talking to the stranger, but she knows everything about the character because she has the mind of her best friend. So she knows like intimate details about her life. So kind of going through like all of the like negative effects of having this like omnipotent like brain trust, I think has been fascinating, and like seeing people she loved affected by it. Budget on this show is crazy. The different all the on location shooting, they're going to different countries and shit. The millions of people they have in shots and the buildings and the fires and all that. You could tell that Apple TV was like, "Oh, you made Breaking Bad. Here's a blank check to make your TV show, whatever this concept is you have." I think it's good so far. Also, shout out to Maryland because they go to Maryland in the first episode, and I thought that was cool because that doesn't happen in a lot of shows.
It's interesting,
Thank you,
like
Vince Gilligan.
you never watched any Star Trek growing up, I guess.
No, no, Star
So
Trek
I mean,
is
like Star Trek tackles
not my
people
position.
know about stuff. If you know anything about Star Trek, like it tackles stuff like this all the time. But one of the things it does is the
Good
Mhm.
morning,
Borg, which are
Carol.
a high mind
Is
collective,
there
and they say the same
anything we
thing.
could do to cheer you
It's
up?
arguments. Picard makes this argument in one of the movies. Like what about individuality? What about an individual themselves? And they're like, it's irrelevant. Like it's this is peace. This is peak evolution, right? Like like you said, there's no war, there's no
Yeah,
crime, there's no famine. You know what I mean? Like it's happiness, but you lose your sense of individuality. And there have been movies that did this before. Star Trek's done it. Invasion of the Body Snatchers has done it.
Oh, was the trailer audio plan?
A little bit. Why are we muted?
Yeah. Denny said mute the trailer audio.
Oh, did we get the? I figured we were talking over it, so it'd be okay. Um, but I guess not. 20. I guess we don't have enough subs for that to bypass.
I think it just means so that they can hear us. I think it was just loud.
Oh, okay, might have been too loud. No, yeah, I mean, like, I think
You're
that
talking
on
about
that,
the
like, look,
boards.
and I'm not saying that this is a bad show because of it at all. There's all these different tropes that have been explored, and everyone's going to explore it in a different way. And I think it is
Yeah.
interesting. If you haven't seen, oh my god, I'm going to be so mad if I get this wrong, and I'm gonna call out First Contact. So in First Contact, Picard has this discussion with the Hive Queen about individuality and like why it's important. And I forget what the speech is exactly, but it's a very powerful speech. Star Trek's known for doing that, right? Um, but the same concept, yeah. Like, I mean, how far are you in the show, Donovan? It's not the Apple TV doesn't release all at once, right? You don't binge. It's like one episode a week for like 8 weeks.
So 2 episodes are out now, and they're doing weekly. I actually don't know how many episodes are going to be in season one, but I'm enjoying it so far. Episode 3 comes out tomorrow, I think.
I
So
think
looking forward to jumping back in.
and like you said, I think what makes this stand out from all those other kind of mediums that have explored this is that like it's not that she doesn't want to do it; she's just immune. She can't. It's not a choice. She literally
Oh no,
cannot.
no, it's a choice. This is the thing. She's like, you people are crazy. Like, get the fuck away from me. She hates this. It's a thing that I don't want to get into spoilers because now we're starting to get into like story stuff. But
Okay.
yeah, she's definitely like because there you see the trailer where it's like the president or whoever's on TV and they're like, come join us, and she is like, fuck this, like hell no, you people are crazy. She's very like put off by it. They haven't gotten to the whole individuality thing, but they're teasing those ideas because yeah, I'm not going to say what's happening in the show, but
Yeah. So I mean,
they're
obviously,
they're
like
playing with that same
that guy
thing.
likes the writer. He surrounds himself with a good production team, good writers. Like he knows how to tell a story, drama, a lot of oh my god moments for sure in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul that you would not expect.
Yeah.
Which I've missed. I'm
Mhm.
missing in TV now. We're watching some stuff on Netflix, like older stuff, and I'm like, man, I really wish the Walking Dead effect would have happened a lot earlier in TV's history. And what I mean by that is like the unexpected deaths, the unexpected characters who have plot armor, Game of Thrones, right? That just die. You wouldn't think would die, then just die. I miss that in TV, and
Yeah.
I want it to come back. So I'm sure we'll get
Yeah, I
some of
mean,
that in
Walking
this
Dead was
show.
known for shock value because they would like change deaths and stuff from the books to fuck with people. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's all storytelling. If you're good at telling stories, you can shock and surprise your audiences.
Well,
I
that's
think
great.
it really is that
You get
simple.
Apple TV Plus for free. I don't think we have it anymore because of my rule of three. That it's like $20, I think, or did they raise it, or is it still like $8? I can't remember. They're always raising prices. I can never keep track anymore.
It was $9. It just went up to 12.
Oof. Oh man, that's cool though. I want to keep calling it
Hmm.
Pluribus, but That's like a nightmare for me, dude. Enunciating. That's a.
It's not an easy name to pronounce, and it's weird. I get why, because like I said, it's Latin and it means many, like out of many, um, or one of many. But it's a strange title for a show. But it's good, which is what matters most, and I'll be sure to talk about more of it next week. Before I talk about my next review, Greg, I want to toss to you because you watched The Witcher season 4, which is a Netflix show, so I assume the whole thing is out.
Yes, we watched it once a day for 8 days. We try to do that because we want to,
Hey.
Let me pull up the trailer here. Okay, so I first want to say my wife is very, very, very unhappy with the casting. I know a lot of people were,
She's a big Henry Cavill fan.
but specifically women were very upset. Why wouldn't they be, right? The dude's arguably everything a man wants to be. So it's
There are a lot
tough.
of dudes that are big into Henry Cavill too. Go check out those Snyder fans, man.
Yeah.
They worship Henry Cavill like he's Jesus. But yeah,
So
please.
I want to say this: it's tough when you're in it with characters and committed to 3 seasons of arguably really good fantasy storytelling and character development, and you have to recast arguably one of the biggest the main person in the show. It's named after him, right? That said, I think he did a fine job. I loved it. I'm a sucker for good high fantasy. It's high fantasy at its finest. This show has been great. There is an adjustment period with the recasting, and there is a different type of tone in this season from other seasons, and we can kind of see. Nicole and I were kind of guessing, like, okay, like what? Because it's based on a series of books. Like, what did they put in the season that pissed Henry Cavill off? And we could like kind of pinpoint certain points. You're like, he probably got mad about that. He probably got mad about that. He probably got mad about that. We've never read the books. But I really enjoyed it. Like it's great. It still expands on the characters. There's like a D&D thing going on where there's 2 groups of people having 2 separate stories that are interconnected. You have like Siri, who's with like a group of D&D people that are like thieves and like doing their thief thing and like having their own side quest, and then you have Geralt trying to get to Ciri with his little D&D group. And I don't know, that really resonates with me. I like when there's teams of people that work together. It's very X-Men-y, very Dungeons and Dragons. I think it's fun. And of course Yen has her mages. Yeah, it's great. The fighting was great. Visual effects are spectacular. Costumes are great. Sets are great. There's a couple things that seem kind of off. Ciri has a relationship with one of they call them the rats, which are the thieves in the group of thieves, and it feels really like kind of out of left field. Just doesn't really feel natural because they don't have that time to build up. It also ends on a cliffhanger. Like a lot of stuff is not resolved. I think because the next season is its last season. That seemed kind of weird too, because all the other ones were kind of like collectively, even after you think it would end, there's another episode kind of explaining what's going to happen next. They didn't have this in this case. I wish there was more monsters. You get a wraith, water spirits, and a couple other things. But like, I wish there were. I like monsters, so I wish they had a little bit more monster fighting in this. There wasn't a ton of it. Great choreography. What else can I say about it? I really enjoyed this. The story is coming to fruition. I love a good mage fight. Huge mage battle in this. Like not the same level as Aretuza from season 2 or 3, but still very good. And they have dwarves in it. Yarpin comes back. He's like one of the dwarves that's been like a recurring character in all 3 of the seasons. But I've been really enjoying it. People should give it a chance. If you don't want to watch it because the Henry Cavill thing, and I know a lot of people aren't that fans, we're not going to watch it because Henry Cavill's been cast. Give it a shot. Like, it's actually pretty good. There will be an adjustment period, but once you get to it, it'll be great. It's just like the Doctor Who, right? Doctor Who, whenever there's a new Doctor, people have a huge adjustment period. They recast the Doctor after like 4 seasons. Oh my God. Oh, why can't I remember his name? I had Lawrence Fishburne's in this, and he's fantastic. He's great. New character.
Hey. He
plays like a botanist and an alchemist. Fantastic character. Great. He nails that aesthetic, and he's like it's like Donovan. If you need to watch this, it's like a D&D group. Everyone has their own little thing that they're doing, and it's really clever. Everyone has their own little role.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I want to shout some messages in the chat here. Squires says, love the first season. Second started out weak, so I dropped it. Haven't gone back. But says that your review sounds good here, and that he read all the books, loves all of them. And Luchador City heard that people who read the books did not like the show.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Sounds like fans of books. Yeah,
I think they've changed a lot, and I think because they only have a limited time, like this show is very expensive to produce, and it's one of their main flag shows, so they have to, you can't include everything, regardless of like how long the show is. So it's making tough decisions, and it's one of the reasons Henry Cavill left, because he had a shouting match with the producers and the writers of the show, just like how they were changing too much from the books. So, but that's the double-edged sword. I'm lucky. Ignorance is bliss. I've never read the books, so I can kind of be like, cool, I don't have to see that comparison. I'm not too close to it. But I can tell some of the stuff that seemed out of place was definitely not, like, just weird stuff. Love to get someone's viewpoint who's read the books. In this, like in the books, does Ciri have a lesbian relationship with one of the rats, or is that something they added? Like that's something I'd really.
Rats? Like the animal?
Oh, sorry, no.
Small rodent?
It's the group. It's the D&D group, the thief group.
Oh, right. Okay. Sure. Yeah.
There's this guy. Not minor spoilers. There's this great fight with like the rats and like the big bad, which is named Leo Bonahart. He's a bounty hunter that kills witchers specifically, and they fight him, and he's just doing all this damage, and I'm just like, man, everyone's just crit failing everything. They can't. He's like, parry, natural 20, and they're like, 1, natural 21, natural 20. It was great. I loved it. Great fights, though. Great fights. Great everything. I'm a sucker for high fantasy. Yeah.
This is the last season of that show, so I hope you enjoyed the run.
No, there's one more. There's one more. 5.
Season 5.
5 seasons. 5's the last season. There's one more.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see how that goes. Hey, Liam Hemsworth's not a bad guy. But recasting any character is always an uphill battle. It's so tough to win people back over, especially doing it a beloved actor like Henry Cavill is. It's just doubly hard. So, yeah, that does not surprise me that that's been an issue for them. Greg, I watched at my local AMC cinema the newest installment in the Predator movie
Oh, I'm
franchise.
really curious about this. Yep.
It's called Predator Badlands. Cue the like space western music. Um, this was directed by Dan Trachtenberg, who also made Prey, which was the last live action Predator movie. Prey was awesome. I don't think this was better than Prey, but I think it was pretty good. Essentially, this movie follows a predator who is kicked out of his clan, outcast, and a Wayland Yutani synthetic robot, which if you remember is actually from the Alien franchise, teaming up for a little adventure. Essentially, our predator guy, his name is Dex. He's kind of like an outcast from his clan. They kick him off, you know. He's on another planet now. He's got to prove himself. He runs into this robot who has only got half a body. That robot happens to be Elle Fanning, who is a damn good actress. She's also in Death Stranding 2.
And the
She
great
was in a movie called Sentimental Values. Yep. She was in a movie called Super 8. She's a really good actress. But it's like a buddy cop sort of thing where they're just teaming up. You got a robot from Alien and a rookie predator trying to like slay this very dangerous monster. And then there's espionage, not espionage, but there's like, mystery that unravels because her backstory is super foggy because she's a robot. And you learn more about her and where she comes from, and that stuff's all interesting. And then his story is more like one of pride and trying to like, prove things to himself and whatnot. And it's fun. It's cool seeing like a rudimentary predator because he doesn't like have all the like technology at his disposal, right? He's not like turning invisible and doing the tracking, the red dot gun and shooting stuff out. He's like fighting, bare hand combat. We see him dueling and using like melee weapons and stuff. Is very cool. Action choreography, awesome. Great fight scenes in this thing. We see him fighting a lot. He's got all sorts of cool like gadgets and stuff still, monsters and whatnot.
He's
Elle
green.
Fanning's
He's
great.
green too, right? He's young. So like that's another thing too. You're watching like a younger predator who's fallible, who can make huge mistakes because he's not, this godlike predator thing.
Yeah, I know this. Yeah, people got upset about that, Denny. This movie's PG-13. It's the first live-action Predator movie to be PG-13, and the reason is because there's no humans. It's all aliens and robots. So like, if an alien gets slashed, it's like green blood, which doesn't constitute an R rating. Yeah, I think it was a lot of hubbub about nothing that people got mad about.
That's
that.
dumb.
People thought they were like watering down the action. It's not watered down. It's just, there's no people. No one's getting their heads chopped off because there's no humans. It's all aliens. But I thought it was really fun. Again, I think Prey was stronger. I think the story of Prey was stronger. I think I cared about those characters more. I forget the name of the protagonist in Prey, but I liked her a bit more than the one here. But it's fun. It feels like the kind of story that would exist in a comic, right? That like Predator hardcore fans read the crossover comic where the robot and like it feels like one of those stories come to life on the big screen, which is really fun. It's cool. If you like action, if you're a Predator fan, I think you're gonna have a feast with this, and I really like that they have a Wayland Yutani robot in it as one of the characters.
She like it's funny you say that because Prey, the main character is human, so naturally people will relate to a human more because we are human.
Yeah,
right. That's the big
Who'd
thing.
have thought? I like people.
And that's the thing too. Like you need the droid. This can't just be a Predator movie because you wouldn't be able to relate to the Predator even if he was talking and everything. You need the droid, the human face, to be your like that's the person we relate to, right? We're seeing the everything happen through like her eyes as well as the Predators, but like that's our grounded force is her, right? We relate to her. We're human talking to a creature we've never seen before on a planet we've never been to either. You know what I mean? But we get that human perspective, even though she's an android. I get it, but she's still human. She still looks human. So.
Yeah, Danny makes a good point. Prey was also just phenomenal. Greg, you would appreciate the behind the scenes of this movie because you see in a lot of the shots here, she's like her body's like ripped in half, so she's only a robot from like the waist up, and you see her like metal parts hanging out, and he like straps her to his back and carries her around. You look at the BTS, the dude that plays the Predator is fucking massive. He's like some 6'7" dude, but he has her like attached to his back actually, Elle Fanning, and then they have her in these like blue screen pants so they can like edit out her bottom half like waist down, and then she's like in a wheelbarrow that they're like pulling, that he's like pulling as he's running. So he's like running through the woods with this wheelbarrow with this adult woman like tied to his back, and they're like moving and stuff. It's like really cool filmmaking, and then of course they go in and they CGI all the stuff out. But I thought that was very very cool, very well done. It's fun. I liked it.
I'll probably wait. It's on Hulu. Damn, it's gonna be on Hulu because it's Fox.
Disney baby.
Yeah, I can't go to theaters. Our theater, we have one theater within a 60-mile radius, and it sucks. So we don't go to a lot of movies. But this looked great. I wanted to see it with some friends because I really did enjoy. I really do. This is the kind of the Predator I've read some of the comics, and I think it's cool to have like a Predator that actually interacts with arguably humans, right? Like the outcast Predator. I think that's a cool concept that we haven't really seen yet. They've always been like villains or anti-heroes, right? You don't really, they're not good guys. And I want to see one, be portrayed as a good guy. So I'm interested.
Yeah, you'll root for this one for sure, and it's cool. And he is very scary looking. Greg, I'll hit the ping pong ball back to your side of the table because you reviewed the Netflix Nuka movie, as you described it, A House of Dynamite.
Of Dynamite. All right. Interesting film. It's about the threat of nuclear war. And it paints it paints perspectives on that. The weirdest thing about this movie is there's no payoff, and it's 3 act ones. So like, that's the
Okay.
Like, is it educational? Absolutely. Like, it's educational, it's informative, right? Some of the stuff I knew, my friends are like military, kind of like fascinated by military stuff. So some of that stuff I knew, like I knew about like the anti-missiles, and like they don't have 100%, like it's a low win rate to hit a missile coming to us. Like, you have to throw a lot of them. We only have so many. There's a lot of companies that are arming themselves nuclearly that we're trying to keep a hold of, because of course we're the only ones allowed to have nuclear weapons, which is a whole can of worms. Because trust us, I guess, is the is the thing. But
Yeah.
it takes place from three different bases, right, or 3 different viewpoints. From one is like the Pentagon, another one is like the Alaska base, and like the safe room, and the third one is like the president. So, and it builds up to the president. So basically, there's a nuclear warhead heading to the USA. It's targeting Chicago. They try to, disarm it by shooting their anti-nuke missiles at it, whatever, but they fail. And that's it. Like, that's the movie. You see that perspective 3 different times from different people happening. I think a lot of it, it's supposed to be very emotional, but we're so used to having a payoff to something, right? Because like, I don't think we're so, including myself and my wife, we're so desensitized to like a nuclear missile's heading to Chicago, and it never shows you hitting it, but it's going to hit, and it's going to be 11 million people are going to die, and there's nothing you can do. Like, it's dealing with the humanity of these people. You have to watch as this missile is going to hit it in 11 minutes, and there's nothing. No one can get out. Like, unless you have a helicopter, you can't get out in time. Like, you're just going to die. It's unavoidable. So you have characters calling, family members and just saying, because they can't entice a panic, right? They can't say, you got to get out of there now. There's going to be a nuke. There's no point. They're dead. They're not be able to get out of the city in time or evacuate the city in time. So a lot of it appears to that, and I think a lot of us are just desensitized to that kind of stuff, to that kind of destruction, because it's been so long since we've had a large-scale war. I don't think and we romanticize it so much. My military friends romanticize it. We romanticize it in Battlefield. We romanticize it in COD. So and I included, like, that was kind of wild to me. I'm like, that's not such a big deal, because I'm just desensitized to all hell, because it's been a long time since the United States has had a cataclysmic event like World War II, or Desert Storm wasn't really cataclysmic. You know what I mean? Like, something like that. Something that killed a lot of people, that went on for a long time. And it is scary, because you think about like the Cuban Missile Crisis, and like, that's basically what this is. Like, there are people all over the world that monitor ICBMs coming in to our, like, and see where they go. And sometimes it's a satellite being launched. Sometimes it's a test, and other countries let us know they're testing. Very weird. I don't know how much of that is accurate, because I'm sure the government doesn't want everything out there. It's like, here's exactly how our defense systems worked. But it was interesting, a little, like, we were hoping there'd be some kind of payoff, like, oh, what are we going to see what happens after the bomb hits and the fallout, or the decision the president has to make? Because I guess the big twist of the movie, not really twist, is that there's a person with a case. I'm sure you've heard of this, Donovan, in history class or government class.
The end of the movie?
What? Oh,
it's not. It's the twist of the movie.
The end of the movie is the first act. Like, you never go past that. It never. You just see it from different perspectives. Where the first act ends in the first 20 minutes or half an hour of the movie is where everything ends. So you never see anything past that. but you shoot this in government class. There's a military member following the president of all times that has that little book of like nuclear options, right? In the event that we are attacked with a nuclear device, the president has to pick one of these 3 options. So it also the ending kind of puts you in that perspective, like what would you do if you were the president? Would you do, retaliate 1-0? And it kind of explains, because Idris Elba plays the president, and it kind of explains like why he has to do this decision, because if we don't do anything, a lot of people say it's open borders, like everyone's going to attack us if we don't do anything, right? Whoever fired the missile, because we don't know who fired the missile, if it was North Korea, Russia, China, we don't know. So you're trying to figure that out. It never tells you who did that. So there's no payoff there. But you have to decide, the end of the movie is he has to counterattack. He has to do something. He can't do nothing. He's like, your options are you either do something and pray that this never this is where it ends, or it doesn't, and then everything gets worse. So, and it puts you in that situation. Like, do you do nothing, or do you make another catastrophic decision to, attack North Korea or Russia or China or Africa or whatever country you thought was responsible for shooting a nuke at us? Because then, obviously, one nuke goes off, we send 2 more, then they send 3 more, then the whole planet dies.
Danny said, "Sounds like a stressful watch."
It was interesting. It kept us on its toes. There's just no payoff, and that's just the big problem. I don't think there is supposed to be a payoff. It's supposed to be a question of efficacy, and like, what would you do? What would you do if you were the president in that situation? You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. And so there's no payoff. Without any payoff, it kind of sucks. And they keep showing, they love showing people with families and kids. I've got a kid on the way. Oh, my wife's at home pregnant. And it's just like, yeah, we get it. Yeah, they have families. I understand the concept. Like, they do every one of those acts, those people have those things, because everyone does have families, arguably, right? Has kids or grandkids or whatever. But like, we wanted to know more about like the fallout, like what happens afterwards, and like you just don't get that. So it gets you hooked in, but then the ending is very anticlimactic and disappointing. And I think years of romanticizing war and playing Call of Duty and Battlefields have desensitized us to the kind of danger and the kind of death that this would come with, right? Because like I'm not anywhere near Chicago, right? But like Denny is, you know what I mean? Like that's a big deal to him. So
you're on the West Coast though,
yeah,
which would be the first place anything coming over the Pacific Ocean would reach.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it would be a good educational video if you know nothing about how ICBMs work and nothing about how like a nuclear event would happen. I think it's an interesting watch, like from an information standpoint, because like all these things are real. Like, this is a threat. There are bases. We do have countermeasures. There are things you have to do. The person that follows the president around with that briefcase full of nuclear options is a real thing. But like, I mean, that's really it. There's no action in it, which is there's no action at all. There's no fighting. There's no villain. There's no antagonist. It's just a bunch of people doing their job and trying to show you what would happen in this situation and the work that goes into it and the amount of conversations. And they were calling like Russia and trying to get on the phone with China and like trying to find out who did this, because usually laws of rule dictate you have to declare war, right? Laws and war. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It looked really interesting when Nicole showed me the trailer. We sat it and it was just very disappointing. The ending was very disappointing because there was no ending. It's the same act 3 times. I've seen other movies.
Sounds like a Netflix movie.
Right. I've seen movies that do this kind of formula better, where it's like the same thing in different perspectives, right? So yeah. It was okay. A little informative. If you don't know anything about nuclear war, it's informative. I guess that's what I'll say. Yeah. It's
all right. Well, thank you for watching it. I'm glad that we have you to review all the like mediocre streaming movies, because God knows I'm not going to watch them shits. But I'm glad that you will, because we need somebody's opinion on them.
I have to. You have to. I have a partner when you're married, or when you have a partner. Like it's when I'm not watching the movie with my partner. She's upstairs and I'm playing video games, but that doesn't happen very often because we want to do stuff together. We don't want to not see each other for 2 days straight, right? And so, yeah, so we have to pick out stuff to watch. So right now we watched that, and then we're watching True Blood at night, and then we watched The Witcher. There's another show that
Yeah.
just came out that Nicole wants to watch, and I'll review that next week too. But I wanted to have something to review on this show, so I was like, let's watch it so I can talk about it with Donovan. And Donovan's like, glad you're watching all
yeah.
the slop, so I don't have to. that's
Yeah,
what
I
I
watch some
got.
bad movies too. I just, when it comes to streaming movies, I watch like 1 out of 12 that come out.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel I did have a moment of self-reflection because I think our entire country, in the U.S. specifically, is just completely desensitized to war and violence. We're just used to it. We're
Right.
just 11
Well, Greg,
million.
what the hell am I
That
supposed to
doesn't
do if they
sound too
send the nuke to
bad.
Baltimore?
Yeah, Chicago's wiped off the map. Oh well, I still have all these other cities. Like, I mean, I was like literally like thinking that to myself, like this is not good. I should not be thinking this way. You know what I mean? Like, it's just we're so
Well,
desensitized.
What do you want me to do? If they send a nuke
Yeah.
to Baltimore, what should I can do about it?
Yeah. Oh well.
I know how many people live here.
Capitalism
Doesn't
still
make
needs
any
to keep
damn
going,
difference.
so we need to keep going. You know, it's very scary. You know, like very scary.
It's chill. Greg, before we get out of here, I do want to pass along a message because Asif usually reviews South Park on the show. He said that based on the new episode, which I don't think you've seen, he's pretty convinced at this point that the South Park creators are trying to get sued. I saw a quote from them. This was recently. They were talking about politics, them doing politics on the show. I want to read this to you real quick. They said that they were talking about all their like political jokes and like them like going at Trump and shit. They said that they said Paramount, this is a quote from them, are letting us do whatever we want, to their credit. And he said, it's not that we all got political. It's that politics became pop culture. There's no getting away from this. It's like the government is just in your face wherever you look. And I think their latest episode leaned into that based on the debrief I got, that they have leaned some insane shit in that show. But I actually thought that was an interesting quote there because I think he's right. That politics have just kind of become pop culture. I thought that was an interesting quote there from the creators.
I mean, the thing is about politics in general is that like the majority of people tend not to be invested until it affects them, and that's true for most people. Like, does it affect you? Yes or no. If it does, like you're gonna have an opinion about it, right? Like, I mean, hell, like even in today's like in our society today, like if it doesn't affect you, people still have an opinion about it for some weird fucking reason. But you know that's the thing, and I think the longer we don't talk about politics on the show a lot, it's not really that kind of a show, but I feel like nobody cares until it starts to affect you, then you'll care. You'll care a lot when it starts to affect you. You know, whether that's healthcare.
Well, that's the
or,
old quote, right? Where people are
Yeah.
like, "I'm not into politics," and the response is, "Politics are into you."
Yeah, but you may not
As
care
long-
about
as long as they're
politics,
very
but politics
interested in
cares
you.
about you, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll watch it tonight. I
Um,
can't watch it tonight because I have a birthday dinner to go to, but I'll watch it either tomorrow or this weekend, and then I'll call Asif and we'll talk about it.
Nice. Sweet. Well, that's going to do it for our review segment here, which means that's going to wrap up our show. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Anyone who jumped in on one of these new alternate platforms that we're streaming on. And, of course, everybody still here on Twitch. Also, that was the best South Park episode of all time. So there
Yeah,
you
that's
go.
what he said.
That's a
Standing
button.
ovation. That's what he said. Standing ovation.
So
He
leave it on
gave it a
there.
standing ovation. Yep.
Yep, but in addition to Asif, Squires, Denny, Richie Crypt there, Lucci Dobra was in the chat here with us earlier, 8-Bit Wizard at the start of the show. Appreciate all of you. Thank you for tuning in. Greg and I will be back next week for more Pop Quiz the Culture. As for today, I believe tonight, Jan is doing a special Shaq stream here on the Shaq News Twitch channel, and you'll get many more streams between now and the next time you see us. So stay tuned. And until next time, this has been Pop Goes the Culture. We'll talk to you later.